Jilly juice opens up the constricted blood vessels and allows the blood to move freely throughout all of your body, mind, and spirit to allow oxygen and nutrients and proteins get to the dark areas of your body that were never woken up because of predispositions or the different protocols that deadened parts of your body. And so this is why this is so amazing, because it is a life-giving formula that allows people to trigger their prostaglandin hormone, which aids in the healing process. It activates, well, what does the prostaglandin hormone do? It dilates the blood vessels. It heals all of the different areas of your body. And with the nutrition, it will then regenerate cells at the micro level. And the probiotics is the bacteria, the necessary bacteria your body needs. And so this is why people feel kind of like sort of like drunk when they drink it, because their biochemistry is changing. It's not like it's alcoholic. It's the fact that you're going to feel different when you release hormones that you have suppressed for years and years and years. I mean, the war on the male, the war on the prostaglandin hormone has been going on for centuries. Okay, here's my dog. She's doing her little stuff again. So the war on the males and the war on the prostate has been going on for centuries. And that is where, I am angry at the doctors and the holistic people, because the doctors and the holistic people actively suppress the hormones that are necessary for human longevity indefinitely. Okay. And so this is where, yes, I can agree with those that are against the medical world. This is where you have legitimate credibility, because I found this information just by understanding what causes high blood pressure. It's the fact that the prostaglandin allows the antidiuretic hormone to come to surface to retain, so you can retain water, so you don't die from dehydration. The salt is the activator. The prostaglandin opens up the blood vessels. Okay, the energizing force helps the body retain water, so you don't die from no water. Okay. So you always have to drink water. But what happens is that people assume that people are not going to drink water when they're thirsty, when that's not the case. Every time I'm thirsty, I drink water. Even when I eat like a salty bacon, I drink water. Okay. So whenever I drink this, I feel just a sharpness I feel an acute sharpness in my cognitive abilities, as well as the way I speak. And I feel the energy just going through all parts of the body. And so this is the electric field. This is the energizing force. And it's not just salt alone. Salt, yes, is a major activator. It's a major, major, major electrical activator. But you have to pair it with the nutrition, which is in the cabbage and the kale, as well as the food supply, the meat, the milk, the cheese, the fruits and the vegetables, the grains, all of that. And you got to have a diverse food supply, especially in this environment. So here we go. Yes. Excuse me. The pulp is very thick, so it's hard to get down. So it kind of gets stopped up. But when I changed the salt from the pink salt, which is the reason why, is because pink salt has the heavy metals. Now, those heavy metals weren't really going to harm you because the salt was the balancing force, but it was extra minerals in the body that were feeding people's candida, but it didn't harm you because people were still healing, but it was slowing your healing process down. So when we cut to the chase and took away the minerals and made it white salt, you have the minerals in the water and in the food supply. So you don't have to have the extra minerals in the pink salt. And so that's why the recipe is now more of a powerhouse, a power force that will clear the pipes and allow your body to finally feed the dark areas of your life. I mean, what is it? The recipe will finally feed the dark areas of your life, because I'll tell you what, when you are taking all of those cannabis and those prostaglandin hormone suppressors, you deaden parts of your body. I mean, it's like looking at a oil spill where parts of the marshes are dead in one areas and they're alive in other areas. And so that's what people do when they're taking the holistic allopathic stuff and they're taking out organs and taking out all these different things, is that they deaden, like 20% of their body. And then it's progressive downhill from there. And they call that life. They call the progressive decline of the body life. And no, the Jilly Juice world is not going to buy in and subscribe to that. And so, yes, I have fundamental differences with those that still buy into the holistic allopathic world. So I could see where someone would have an argument against the holistic allopathic when it comes to suppressing good information like the prostaglandin, when I'm able to go and research this stuff and figure out, well, what the hell causes hypertension and high blood pressure? It's not the salt. It's not the salt. It doesn't cause that. It's the fact that when people have already an issue with their circulatory system and their cardiovascular system, and then the prostaglandins and the salt have to energize the body to retain the water and widen the blood vessels. And so it has to then pump the blood extra so the body can be able to retain water, because people aren't drinking enough water. Okay. And they're taking prostaglandin suppressors. So, so when you suppress the prostaglandin, that doesn't allow, that's the issue. And I know I'm getting way ahead of myself, but yeah, missing the prostaglandin will tighten up your blood vessels and constrict them. So when you actually do the Jilly Juice, it opens up the blood vessels. It allows the body to take on water than it needs to, and then feed the cells, and then regenerate, and then go from there. But yes, high blood pressure is from the suppression of the prostaglandins, which causes the constriction of the muscles. And then the body has to do extra work by creating a hormone called the antidiuretic hormone that then makes the body retain water, which then it pumps the blood faster, which would be the high blood pressure. But it's not because of the salt. The salt is the insurance policy. The salt actually saves people's lives because it forces the body to do what it needs to do to keep the water in the body. Okay? So, so you don't die from low blood pressure. Because if you don't get blood to the necessary parts of your body, like your heart and your brain, that's how people die. High blood pressure is an actual emergency saving type of mechanism. All symptoms are. All symptoms are a life insurance policy. But when you have those symptoms happen over and over again, just like when you're circulating in your activism and looping over and over and over again, eventually you're going to tax the body out of existence. And that's what goes on out there. People are just looping in the same symptoms. And then they keep suppressing the symptoms with the wrong chemistry. And then they totally destroy their body, mind, and spirit. And then the people around them. Okay, so right now I'm practicing understanding the chain reaction of events of high blood pressure, and then what the Jilly Juice does, and then what hormones are involved. So I know it like the back of my hand. So when I actually write my next book and I talk about the imbalances of the human body and the imbalances and the patterns of nature, and then I bring in the prostaglandin hormone and the medical holistic industry actively attacking the males and, destroying them in such a way. I want to know this like the back of my hand, where I can just rattle off what hormone is what does what is high blood pressure, and then what does Jilly Juice do, and why salt isn't this. And so right now, yeah, I'm practicing. And so I'm getting better in explaining how these chain reactions, because it's not just like, A plus B equals C. It's like a whole order of operations. It's like parentheses and times and division and fractions. And this is then the outcome. It's not as simple as like, you eat salt, therefore you have high blood pressure. That's the simplistic, simple way of people explaining their issues, because that's how the medical holistic industry, they dumb down information, because that's who they deal with, is people that they can easily sway into buying all of their pills and their supplements and their procedures. They make it like where it's A plus B equals C. It's like 1 + 1 = 2. That's what the medical holistic industry do. They go 1 + 1 = 2, and you buy it hook, line, and sinker. Actually, they say it was 1 + 1 = 5. Okay. But Jilly Juice is like 1 + 1 = 2. It means, yeah, A plus B, equals C. It means that no, salt and high blood pressure, or salt and a human does not equal high blood pressure. But those are, a little confusing there. But there's a whole lot of other chain reactions that go on that contribute to people's symptoms, and why the body has to go into emergency types of triage situations. So high blood pressure is a what do you call it? A survival mechanism. That's right. Let me see how do I explain this? Symptoms are a survival mechanism of the body. Symptoms, and high blood pressure is a symptom. So it's a survival mechanism of the body when it's trying to live. And so cancer is a survival mechanism of the body when it's trying to live. Epilepsy, Parkinson's, PMDD, cancer, all of the different diagnosable diseases are a survival mechanism where the body has to find alternative pathways to keep it alive despite the destruction the human is applying to itself, as well as the medical holistic industry. See, that's the key thing. And that's what I have to be able to rattle off and say, like, it's just like the easiest thing. So that's why I'm so right now single-minded, so focused. Like I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like saying, how do I say this again? How do I gotta find the research. Where is the relationship between this and this? Okay. So, you know, once I know it like 100%, it'll be so much easier to say in like maybe one sentence and you'll get it. That's the beauty of the Jilly Juice, is that you will attack a problem and you will solve it. And it'll be like a tunnel vision until you solve that problem. And then the problem doesn't exist anymore. And that's the whole point of the J juice, is that every single time you drink the J juice and there's a specific issue in your body, the J juice will go and attack that problem until that problem is not there anymore. That whole headache that I had for 6 days, that was an intense 6-day solution. Okay. And so my body was able to single-handedly go and attack that problem until there was no more problem anymore. It's not going to be strung out like people have with chronic illness where they have the same problem for like 50 years until they die. No, with the Jilly Juice, your body handles that problem in such a condensed way, and then you never have to deal with it again unless you destroy your body again, which you'll never do, because who wants to go down that road again? I mean, that's the stupidest road to go down. Once you finally get a taste of being healthy and feeling pain-free and you earned it, you will never allow your body to be that destructive to itself as well as to other people ever again. And so, now, I'm in total self-preservation mode as well as my family. I am proactively planning for a lot of potentials that's going on out there in the world. And I'll learn how to hunt and fish if I really have to. I don't think it'll come down to that. But I have no problem going back to the pioneer days and surviving. And so you guys, just do the Jilly Juice and, do a lot of it and eat meat. Don't be a freaking vegetarian, okay? Those of you that are vegetarians, don't be a vegetarian. You can't afford to be a vegetarian or a vegan in this environment. You cannot afford to be. You must eat some meat. Because I'm telling you, the anti-vaxxers and the vegans and vegetarians are the actual depopulation agenda. Because I'm telling you, the vaccines and the viruses bring up the prostaglandin hormone that will help heal the body. And then you drink the J juice to help support the healing process. And people don't even know that, but now they do. And maybe some will buy what I'm saying, maybe some don't, because they're so stuck to their activism. But I'm telling you what you've been thinking since 2012, 11, 10, whenever, since that dude, I forget his name, that started the whole anti-vax movement, you have been sold a bill of goods, and it's destroying you and your family. Oprah destroyed the world by going after the meat industry. Oprah and all of her little freaking minions, Dr. Phil's and everyone else, that support them, have destroyed humanity. Now it's time to take humanity back. And it starts with you and your testimony and you sticking to this regimen. All right, bye.